Well, earlier this morning, we highlighted a more lighthearted event taking place at the 30th annual Harbourfront Kumba Festival. But now we're switching gears to a more serious conversation that's also taking place this weekend. It's about the experience of Black refugees in the city. The discussion aims to bring together the voices of Black refugees who share what it's like finding a home here in Toronto. Joining us live this morning to talk more about this, Dr. Nimue Lewis and Brandon Hay. Gentlemen, thank you for being here this morning. Such an important conversation. We saw what unfolded on the streets of Toronto last year, the refugees outside that Richmond and Peter location, and that's not an isolated incident. That's sadly a bit of a reality here. Brandon, let me start with you. Yeah. What is the goal of this session this coming weekend?
Yeah, the session and overall the idea of the Journey to Black Liberation is the idea of that Blackness is not a monolith, and it's to talk about the different intersections of Blackness, including the refugee conversation and many more, and having a celebration of our similarities and as well as our differences. But it's around raising allyship. I'm learning and unlearning during this process, and it's an opportunity for folks to do that as well, and bringing in folks and experts on topics that we may not know, and sort of, I think in terms of even myself as an immigrant, I think it's important for the community to sort of hear more about what's happening in different aspects of the Black diaspora in Toronto.
Yeah, Dr. Lewis, clearly allyship is one of the solutions here, but what are some of the other solutions? And are there obvious solutions? Are these difficult problems to solve?
I think that there are difficult problems to solve, but I think there's some obvious solutions, and think in terms of more government supports to address the immediate need for emergency shelters, but also more affordable housing to resettle some of these Black newcomers that are choosing Toronto as a home.
Is your sense that the government is as seized with the issue as it should be?
I think that there's more that can be done. At the current moment, I think that there are efforts that are ongoing, but I think that there's more that needs to be done in terms of addressing some of the barriers and some of the policy drivers that are causing Black newcomers to face some of the difficulties in finding affordable, adequate, and secure housing.
Yeah, and affordable housing is such a challenge. We just heard the mayor talking about that and the issues facing the city right now. As an immigrant yourself to Toronto, to Canada, can you talk a bit about your experience and the challenges that you've met and tried to overcome?
Yeah, I think that there's this piece of sort of like finding home, and that's a theme of this year's conversation. And I think, again, I'm also, with that being said, I'm recognizing that I'm a cis Black man. That's my experience. But last week I was over at the 519, and they have a really great program called Among Friends. And again, these are queer Black folks, or racialized folks. So they're dealing with a bunch of different intersectionalities. And I think one of the main headliner is Sonia Renee Taylor, who wrote this book, The Body's Not an Apology, and she's in conversation with Dr. Cyrus Weir, is talking about body positivity, talking about our differences, talking about disability justice, but this idea of collective liberation. And I think this is the overall aspects. So for me, I recognize that my liberation as a Black straight man is definitely connected into the liberation of Black trans folks, Black folks who are immigrant, Black folks who are refugees, Black folks who are living with a disability. So I think, again, it's not to get into this idea of the Oppression Olympics, as one of my mentors who passed away, Dr. Louis March, or Mr. Louis March from Zero Gun Violence. So I think it's again, the idea of Black Daddies Club, which is celebrating our 18th year, is to create spaces for Black men to decrease our isolation. The second is to do what we're doing today, work with the media to change the depiction of Black fathers. And the third is around community-based education. So my experience in academia is that we don't see Black folks. And I don't want to speak for Dr. Nimue's experience, or Black men specifically. But the importance is to go into community and go where Black men are at, and other folks, and make sure these events are accessible to folks.
It's got to be for everyone in the community.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Really quickly, because we're a little tight on time, Doctor, can anybody come? Is there a cost? How do people get involved and get a chance to join?
There's no cost. The event will be on Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. And all is welcome to join what I feel would be a very timely and fruitful conversation about the challenges and practical solutions to address it.
It certainly will be, and let's hope that you find some great solutions. Gentlemen, thank you for the time.
Awesome.
Really
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.